So jumping straight into the Trends tab, or before we jump into the Trends tab, let me just show you something on my mobile device, and that is how to use Xposure on your phone. Let me just go through the message. Okay. So I'm just going to show you quickly how you can get the Xposure app on your phone. Many people may already have it, but this is for someone who's just started using Xposure, who's new to the system. So let me just quickly share my phone screen. I'll just show you how nice it is on your mobile device. Just give me a moment.
Hey, Antong, if you want, I'm totally happy to answer the chat and the Q&A. Does that work for you?
Sounds good. Sounds good. Let's do that. I will just continue with the session. So as you can see, I have Xposure on my phone right now. When I click on it, it takes me to Xposure app. It's pretty neat. You can, there are some of the features that are not present on the Xposure app, and one of them is the Trends tab. Apart from that, you have My Listings, you have the CMA, you have the hot sheets. You can also search for listings on the Xposure app. So it's pretty cool. It gives you everything on the go. So you may want to try this. The one way to do this is you open your browser, enter kadrea.exposureapp.com. For car members, it is kar.exposureapp.com. When you click on that, it will take you to Realtor link. Please select your board, Kamloops. Don't forget to click on Remember Me. Then you click Sign In. And that should take you into Xposure on your browser. Now, to have this thing as an app on your device, all you need to do is click on this guy over here at the bottom, the Share button, and then go to Add to Home Screen and click on Add to Home Screen. That should give you a chance to enter what name you want. So maybe you want to remove the CC and just have Xposure there, and then click Add. And you will see that at the bottom, I have Xposure. When I click on it, the first time I will have to enter my board again, because now it's an app and sitting on your device, you will have to log in again. And once you do that and you're in, your app should remember you for the next time. I mean, I'll just close this thing and show it to you again. So if you click on Xposure now, it takes you directly inside. So that was the Xposure app. It does not have the Trends feature there yet. Lisa, we can show you how to get the app after logging into Realtor Link. It was the only thing that you need to do is click on the Share button on your browser, on your respective browser, and that should give you an option to add to home screen. When you click on Add to Home Screen, you will have it as an app on your device. So that was,
oh, sorry to interrupt you. At one point, there was a message that would come up, like if you were using your phone's browser and you typed in the web address, it would prompt you to get the app from there or to save it onto your home screen. Is that still happening? Do you know?
I'm not sure, because this is the only way that I have previously installed the app on my phone. So I'm not sure of the other way. This is a simple way to do it. You don't have to install anything or delete anything. You just have to add it as a bookmark on your home screen, which gives you access to the app without having to log in every time. So I think it works well if you do it this way. Going back to the Trends tab. Joel, we have another message. If you can please look at that, I'll proceed with the Trends tab.
You bet. Thank
you so much. So I'm going to show you how I create monthly reports for Kadrea. This will give you an idea of how this tab really functions. I will also be going through certain basics in terms of what we look at for calculating residential stat reports at the end of the month. So when we are creating a stat report, we look at the entire area for Kamloops, but we only select these properties as residential. So what you're looking at right now is criteria selection for the Trends tab. It is pretty simple. You just keep clicking on the things that you want. If you don't want a particular one, just click on it again and it deselects it. So let's just have that selected. That's our selection for all residential. You don't really need to click on residential because we only have residential stats available. You can select your styles. Now, depending on what your requirement is, you may come to the Trends tab to do your own research. This research can happen using the search tab. You can search for listings directly, or you can search for data using Trends. And it will really depend on the situation that you're in. Depending on that, you select your style, you select your complex, and the number of bedrooms that you want to research or the bathroom that you want to research. One important thing that you must note here, and that is unconditional sold date. We don't have any other date here. And the reason for this is because Kadria considers unconditional sale date as the sale parameter, as the parameter that determines a sale, and not date status change, which Kriya uses. So you will only find that there's unconditional sold date here. Let's just add that right now. Also make sure that you select a monthly date range. And that is because the system does not give you the ability to calculate numbers for different timeframes. By timeframes, I mean different date ranges. So if you want to calculate what happened in the last 15 days, you can't do that in the system as of now, unfortunately, but you can definitely look at your monthly numbers. So we look at February monthly numbers. We've added our unconditional sale date. The time frame here will change automatically. It doesn't matter, because when we click on update criteria, you will see that our criteria over here has changed from February 1st to February 28th. And the search criteria is entire MLS. And that is because we have all areas selected. And then we have our different property types, which are considered as residential in Kamloops. So when you click on that and the criteria is updated, the first thing you will see is are these 4 boxes. Now, I'll come to this in a bit, but before that, let's just look at these 4 boxes here. These boxes will essentially help you in your research. As I said before, people will come in here for different reasons, for their own research, for a particular property type. You can also do your research using the search tab when you're looking at listings specifically. Here, you're looking just at data. You're just looking at numbers. So to view numbers, they have been represented in 4 different formats. The first format is the dashboard format. The dashboard format essentially lets you play with numbers. There are certain pivots that we'll see that the system allows you to crunch your numbers using those pivots. We'll see how that is done. Then there's special PDF. Here you can download system-generated PDFs. You won't be able to play with numbers, but when we look at these PDFs, you will really feel that the system gives you all the information that you need. You don't need to format it, put it in, write your own text. It also gives you text information readily available basis the criteria that you've selected above. So we'll look at special PDF. Then there's market trends. Market trends is a feature that lets you download graphs and Excel sheets. Now, in case of the dashboards, you're only able to play with numbers while you're on the system. In terms of when you come to market trends, you're able to download those graphs. You're able to download Excel sheets. And then if you want to crunch numbers on the Excel sheet, create your own Excel sheet and then share with your client or your friends and peers, you can do that using market trends. And then there's My Stats. These numbers over here are essentially your numbers, your transactions, your performance. All of those things reside under My Stats. Let's just go back to the 4 boxes that we didn't discuss. These 4 boxes are a comparative, I would say they're just a comparison for realtors to know what's happening in their jurisdiction, in Kamloops and district. So if I would personally not want to go in here and give you the details. I would request each one of you, if you can go in and click on these guys over here, you will see what numbers we have. You will see a comparison between yourself, and how the other realtors compare to you. What is their performance? What are their numbers? All of that. It's pretty interesting. You would want to go here and click on this and see what results you get. So, but be wary of this thing. These PDFs that you download from here are for internal use only. They can't be used for any marketing purposes. So kindly have some time and go through this. It's very interesting. If I was a realtor, I wouldn't have, I would have definitely checked it out.
Antrong, sorry to interrupt you.
Sure.
It's worth mentioning that some of those tiles are not available to members. They're just for admin staff only.
Okay, but do they have access to some of them at least?
Yes, I believe the agent one should be available, but from what I know, or from what I'm aware of, the office, the firm, and the brand are not. Those are just their test accounts. Or their test
I didn't know
tiles.
that, and that's exactly why I haven't clicked on anything.
There you go.
Okay, but it's pretty interesting. So people I would say they should go and try this out. And I will show a similar PDF in this session by going into my stats, and it'll be very interesting to see. Anyway, let's just start with dashboards. So once we have our criteria in and we know what we want, we click on market trends. This is the dashboard that gives you a complete complete information on the criteria that you've selected. So here you can see that we have market summary, and that gives us the time frame that we'd selected and the performance in comparison to the performance last year. So here you can see that we have selected February 2021, and here's February 2020. We did 288 sales, and the previous month was 200 sales. Now, when we create our monthly reports, we look at these numbers and just pick them up and put them in the press release, or if we are putting out a graphic, we just pick our numbers from here and then put it there. It gives you a complete analysis of whatever we want to look at. The basic metrics, units, volume, average price, average days on market, everything can be fetched from market summary under market trends. Going back, I spoke about the pivots that we're going to look at. So here, if you see some drop downs, this is the place where you actually start playing with numbers. Right now, we're looking at all the closed deals, but that it gives us all the sales that have happened. Let's look at listed. Okay, we don't have any information here, so it's not very comprehensive, but yeah, we have numbers for 2020. So if you want to look at those numbers, you can do that. But for now, let's just look at closed. In terms of units, we have our values. You can also look at, and these pivots here give us some changes over here. Let's see if that works. Yeah, it's by volume. And let's look at by style. So now you see the volume by style. So we used a pivot here for adding volume on the x-axis. Sorry, volume on the y-axis and style on the x-axis. So it's pretty neat. You can just snip this part and add it to your analysis or your reports. It's pretty easy. You use your pivots. Right now, please try and understand that the system is still developing. So if you find that there's something that is not working properly, that is the exact time when you get in touch with us and let us know that you found something, and we will try and get that resolved immediately. Like we saw some issues right now when we looked at listed. But other than that, when we use these pivots, it gave us a beautiful graph. So that was market trends. Your general analysis, your average numbers, your units, volume, everything is under market trends. Going into market intelligence, we saw trends. Intelligence means we're digging deeper into our analysis. So let's look at what market intelligence gives us. Here again, we have some pivots. The table right now is market intelligence by area. If you want to change this to say style, it will give us market intelligence by styles. Now, for a seasoned realtor, for a veteran, they would not want all of these numbers. They would know what works best in what area, in what price range. They would not want to know what areas are working well for what property subtype. By that, I mean the style. But this is for a new realtor, for somebody who's new, who's trying to understand the market, this is a gem, isn't it? Because you can do a complete analysis, you can play with numbers, you can look at units, you can look by volume, you can look by average numbers, median numbers. You can change your price ranges, and you can also change your rows by, let's just see what happens when you click postal code. Pretty cool, right? So you can do all of those things here. You can look at yearly summaries. What has our performance been year to date in terms of units, volume, average days in market, all of these numbers. Like deeper information is provided here under market intelligence. The next thing is price analyzer. Price analyzer is again something that is self-explanatory. It lets you analyze prices. Now, why would you, I mean, as board staff, I'm not very sure what in a realtor's daily life or daily business would be valuable and how it will be valuable. But this is pretty good information. I mean, for somebody who's new to Kadria or Car, who is just starting to do their business, who are trying to understand the market, this gives us a lot of information of things that have happened in the last 1 month in whatever price range in different areas. As board staff, I can, what can I say? I can say that we are selling more bathrooms than bedrooms. But for a realtor, it will be something different. The kind of derivations you can have from these graphs is pretty good. Here you change your steps, here you change your pivots, pretty simple. I'm not going to dig deep into this because we have to cover a lot of different reports and different things that are provided here, but this one is my favorite. I like to see this table, it's amazing. So going to inventory analysis. Now, many realtors do their own inventory analysis of the market in a month. You can click on this and you can get those numbers pretty handy. So right now we are looking at all the closed listings. You can change this pivot to say listed. And you will see how many properties were listed this year in the time frame that we've selected as compared to the previous year. You can also see the total number of active listings over here as of March 12th, that is today. So this number is provided in real time. This will change if you're looking at it on a different day. So inventory analysis, just before the monthly report that we released in March, we had many realtors asking us about the total number of active listings that are there in the market. I think now some of us know where they can get this number on Xposure, and that is inventory analysis. So 4 brilliant dashboards that have been created. You can look at, we've touched every dashboard right now. If you have any questions regarding anything that's in those dashboards, please feel free to contact us. Let's look at special PDF now. The special PDF option gives you the ability to create your own PDFs without actually having to play with numbers. These are standard reports. So you can look at average numbers or median numbers. So for example, if I want to create a PDF for, say inventory, and we click on go. Let me just share my screen again. And you'll be able to see that there is an inventory report for the following criteria for the month of February 2021. This is your inventory report, and it's pretty detailed. So I'm not sure if you'd need all numbers here, but you definitely can pick up something from here and understand. It'll add to your knowledge base if you go through all of these reports that the system can create for you. So I'm not going to start creating all these reports right now. During Xposure sessions, I expect that at least some of you will be using Xposure on a different device, and you would want to go and run these functions while I'm doing them. So you can check them out at your end. Right now, let's just quickly move to housing report. Let me just share my screen again. So this is the housing report. It gives you a complete analysis. It's already created. You can just share this with your clients or your peers. And yeah, pretty detailed. You don't have to actually go through all the dynamics involved while you're creating a report. So that was housing report. Similar as a price range report. It is similar to the price analyzer. Let's just move to the market trends tab. By market trends tab, I mean the market trends section. As I mentioned before, Here we can download graphs, we can download Excel sheets. We couldn't do that under dashboards. We couldn't do that under special PDF because special PDF just created its own report and gave it to us. Right now, we can select what we want exactly. Under market graphs, you will only see the market graph that you're looking at. By units, you will see your annual unit numbers. Under comparative market graphs, you will see a comparison with the previous year. Under performance distribution, you will see what has the performance distribution parameter will be basically your x-axis. So you'll see the performance in price ranges if you have price selected over here. We'll just look at everything right now. I'm just taking you through all the different steps that are there. You may also want to see the distribution of sales that is there based on agents, and that can be done here. And you can also download spreadsheets by clicking on this one. So let's just quickly click on market graphs and see what market graphs gives us. So right now it's giving us 288 units sold, February 2021. I can change that here to say average days on market, and average days on market is 56. Let's look at yearly numbers. So this is your yearly number. So every year in February, that's been our sale performance for these property, sorry, not sale performance, our average days on market for these property types. Let's look at units. So as you can see, by clicking on market trends, you will be able to play with these guys here. When you click on PDF, it downloads as a PDF. When you click on Excel sheet, it downloads as an Excel sheet. So, but we saw that we only got numbers for the current period while we clicked on market graphs. Let's click on comparative market graphs for average price. And let's look at what the system gives us here. So as you can see, let me just full screen this. We have comparison with the previous year numbers. Now, we don't have exact numbers given here, but then when you just hover over it, you get the numbers for the previous year month-wise. So that's comparative. You can look at this graph as a column graph as well. And you can download it as an Excel sheet or a PDF. So it's pretty cool. Like, I create my monthly reports by looking at these graphs. So all of the graphs that you would see in our press releases for Kadria or CAR for that matter, you will be able to see those graphs. Performance distribution, let's see what happens here. Let's have a performance distribution in a price range with 50,000 steps. Okay. So price range. Just a few days ago, we had a realtor who wanted to understand what are the number of units that are selling in a particular price range. This is how you do it. Pretty simple, right? The system gives you all the numbers just in the click of a button. So that happens under performance distribution. Distribution of agents. This is cool as well. So this graph here tells us that there were 63 agents that sold at least one listing last month, and one agent sold 18. And now the comparative distribution spreadsheet, as I said, this is an Excel sheet. I can get this by city, by area, by style. And when I click on go, it's only going to download an Excel sheet in my system. Pretty straightforward. You should, in fact, go and test this out, try this out, and see how it works for you. Coming to my stats. Now, this is the area where you will be able to look at your own numbers. Let's see what are the options. Okay, how many you've sold, how many you've listed, or combined. This is stats for you, by office, by brand. Performance distribution of 10,000. Let's look at style. The problem right now that I will have is that my numbers will be 0 because I haven't sold anything yet. So clicking on this is not going to help. But let's look at top agents, 25. This is going to give us a list of the top 25 agents in your area. And this is available to everybody. You cannot use this as a marketing material, but you can definitely have a look at this and understand where you stand and what should your performance be to improve as a realtor. So let's just click on that. And here you'll be able to see the performance of the top 25 realtors in Kamloops. It clearly says that this is only for internal use, so please refrain from using this as marketing material. It's not in any order. It's just a list, a comprehensive list of high performers in Kamloops. So we've run through this really quickly. We've looked at dashboard, special PDF, market trends, and my stats. Now you know how to look, like where to look for if you're looking at average monthly numbers. If you're digging deeper, you go into market intelligence. If you're looking to analyze prices. Now, to give you an example, you may want to create a CMA. Let me just quickly go to CMA. Where does price analysis come? Now, this is my understanding from a board person's point of view, as a board staff. Realtors may find value in this in different ways. So in CMA, when I look at creating a CMA, there's this adjust option, right? Where you enter adjustments for the number of bedrooms, bathrooms. If there are lesser bathrooms, there should be some amount that should be subtracted or added. How do you get an analysis, or how do you understand what should be the average price that you should be adding when there's an extra bedroom? I think this is my understanding. I'm not a realtor. I think that can come from the Trends tab. You go to Price Analyzer, and you can do your analysis for the number of bedrooms, like what are the price ranges and what should be the price of one bedroom that you should be taking off or adding there. So we looked at those things under Price Analyzer. Inventory analysis, again, if you want to look at active listings, if you want to look at listing, new listings that were added into the system by style, different property types, all of that is done under inventory analysis. Special PDF, we looked at that, market trends and my stats. If we have any questions at this stage, I'd love to take them. Other than that, let me just move to a very important thing, that is time frame. Now, this system that we're looking at right now is time intensive. That means we are only looking at the last 10 years and not beyond that point. So we have data for the last 10 years, and you can actually go in and look at all of these until 2010, so 11 years. So you can do that. This is a way to select your time frame quickly. So if you select 1 year over here and hit update criteria, now you'll see that the criteria has been updated to all property types for the last 1 year. I'll just show you how I do my monthly report. So I select search all these property types. So lots and acreage and farms are considered as non-residential. So we don't select that for our monthly reports. What I'll do is I'll quickly go and click on 1 month, and then I'll hit update criteria. Now it's already updated. Now, if I'm coming back next month to create my report, I'll click on save criteria, and I'll create a new criteria, and that is Kamloops and District, all residential. Save. And as you can see, my search criteria has been saved successfully. And it appears over here. Let's just go to the search tab and come back to the trends tab and see if that works. So now when we come back, we don't have any criteria selected over here. It's automatically giving us the time frame as 1 year. But I can go and click over here and select this guy, and immediately I have my criteria entered. I don't have to actually go in every time and select criteria. So you may have some details put in over here for a specific client, or on a specific day, you may have this entered, and you just save the criteria. And when you're doing your analysis, the next time you just click on save criteria and you can get your numbers quickly. So that's how you do your research under trends. What's the time right now? It's 11:34. We'll take the next 10 minutes to see a new feature on Xposure. Now, you are the first guys to look at this feature unless somebody has already gone in and tried this out at their end. But I think it's very interesting. It's a very interesting feature. So, okay. Hey, Joel, I am unable to see clients here. Are you able to see clients?
No, it's not on your, what about under more? Does it come up there?
No. I could access this like yesterday and suddenly it's gone.
See, it's fun when they change things around on you, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh God, I was so excited about this, but now I can't see it.
I'll tell you what, I'm just gonna mute myself and I'm gonna check from my end if I can still see it, okay?
Okay, my apologies, my sincere apologies to everybody. I was just going to show you a feature called Xposure Meets. And that feature, as it sounds, it's a meeting feature that's now going to be available for everybody on Xposure. It's a peer-to-peer video conferencing system. So what you can do is, like, this is free of cost. What you can do is you can click on a client. We've seen how to create clients before. You can click on a client and then you can click on your Xposure Meet, and it basically creates a peer-to-peer link for video conferencing between you and your client, and you can do your showings, you can do your meetings, everything all in one place. You don't have to create your clients on Xposure and then go to Zoom to create a meeting. You can create your client on Xposure and your meeting will also be created within this system. So it's a pretty neat feature, but very unfortunate that they have taken it down.
So I still see my clients tab on my end. I wonder if, are you able to log into your sample account from here?
Let me just check that.
You might have to pause your screen share.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to just log into the system again. Please, I'm really sorry. Please bear with us.
Antoine's going to sing some hold music for us while he while he looks.
Okay. Because it was a cool feature.
It is a really neat feature, actually. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to become really handy for folks, just because it's a one-touch system, right? You're starting the session straight from the MLS system, which is nice. I know everybody's used to using Zoom, but if anybody else is like me, sometimes it's a pain to create the meeting, copy the link, send that off. Like there's quite a few steps. So yeah. This way it takes a few steps out of the way, and it's free.
Yes, right? So I hope it comes up. I think it has. That's great. So I'm just quickly going to share my screen again. I've come to this point, Joel, when Xposure started making me happy.
Yay!
Okay, so under clients, I hope everybody can see the screen right now.
We can, thanks.
So we created these test clients in our previous session. Let's just look at let's just quickly create a new client. Or let's not do that, it's going to be time taking. So as you can see that there is a meet button for that client, right? For every client, you will see that option. John Baker, there's a meet feature. So when you click on meet, let's see what happens. It gives you a brief description of what this feature basically is, what steps you can take, like you can copy the meeting link and you can send it by email. When you're ready to start the meeting, click on start meeting and it should create a link between you and your client, or any friend for that matter, if you have them under clients. And you will also have an option to share your screen with them, and they will also be able to do that. Other than that, it's very similar to what Zoom does for us. So let me just quickly try this by email. Let's see what happens here. Okay, you can not choose another client. It's just going to go to the client that you've already created. So what I'm going to do right now is, Joel, I'm going to send you this link, and let's see if we can show our members right now.
You're catching me on a very bad hair day, Andra.
No, you don't have to put your camera on. I'm just going to. Okay, anyway, but let me just see if this works. I've been curious to test this out, though.
The key piece is that it's limited to one-to-one, like it's one participant to the other, and that each one of the links is unique to that particular user, right?
Yeah, Joel, I've just sent you a link. See if that works.
So am I just clicking on that?
Yes, please. So, and let me start the meeting as well. Let's see what happens then. Can everybody see my screen right now?
Yes.
Okay, and Joel, you're there. I can see the J.
Yeah, it's going to echo, I think.
Yeah. Let me just mute this.
It is a blank screen. I am hiding.
Okay, no worries. But we just saw that we have a feature here that allows us to connect with a client at any point using the Meets tab. Let me just move this a bit, and let me show you what else do we have here. You can share your screen. You can chat with them. You can pause your video, add your video, end the call, and what is over here? Tile view. Okay, invite more people. So this will not work right now because this is right now just a peer-to-peer functionality. It's only between. It's only going to be between two people, just two, not more than that.
Correct.
So.
It's just the licensing they have set up at their end, right? So I think the system, if it was outside of Xposure,
it will improve over a period of time. It will improve. The system was definitely on track for that. But I've just ended the meeting here, and we're back on Xposure. Just give me a moment. Okay.
So it's very slick, which is nice, right? It just goes straight in.
Yeah, and you can do this for every client right within Xposure. It may or may not work the way you want it, but it is certainly a step. And I would request each one of you to go into the system, try out trends, try out clients, try out the Meet feature, and let us know what you feel. We've perhaps come to, no, I shouldn't say the end of the session because we are not done with the hour yet. If you have any questions, you can throw at us right now and we'll take them. Other than that, if you want me to cover anything on Xposure right now, if there's a particular thing that you have a question about, you can just write to me right now and we will cover that part. What do you think, Joe?
I don't see any questions in the chat, but I do have one particular feature that I think is fantastic and underused. Okay. So I don't know, are you familiar with the prospecting tile that's on the home screen?
Yeah, it is right here.
So are you comfortable talking about that? Are you familiar with the features? I can give you an MLS number if that helps.
If you're more confident in that area, I would love to hear from you.
The pleasures of working from home. You hear my dog. Okay, bear with me just a sec. I'm going to pull up an MLS number. 1 moment.
Oh, I already have one.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, so no. Sorry. It didn't work.
That didn't work? Okay, give me 1 sec here. Yeah, I have 2 dogs at home, David, and I'm surprised it's taken this long for one of them to speak. All right, so let's look up active listing in Kamloops. Okay, let's try. Let's try something else. Okay, let's try MLS number 160847.
Okay.
Okay, so essentially, Yeah, so if you, or I guess it lets you select. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah. So what happens when you click on price drop there?
It gives me options for price increase or price
increase.
drop.
Okay. What this tile is supposed to do is it's supposed to give you an indication of how many people you're going to reach.
How many searches your listing is going to appear in if you do a price increase of 5,000 and it's going to show you in 5 increments.
Correct.
A price drop of 5,000, it's going to show you over $25,000. What are the number of searches that you can appear in? So let's try that out.
Well, and those are PCS searches, just to be clear. So how many inboxes you're going to hit if you make these changes to the price? It doesn't always work for me on my end because I think I don't have it quite set up correctly. It just as an admin, but here you can see.
It's picked up the listing. It's giving us the name of the listing. It's giving us the current matched searches. So your listing, so this particular listing is going to appear in 339 searches. But if there is a price drop of 7,000, it's going to appear in that many more searches. So if you enter the price range of 595, you will, okay, we have 2 participants who raised hand. Joel, can you look, please?
Yeah, it looks like Lisa and Scott. Should we, if we could unmute Lisa, are you, can we do that actually? I'm not sure. I can't do it from my end, so I don't know if you can.
So I've unmuted Lisa. Lisa, you can talk if you want. You can unmute yourself and talk. We've allowed Scott as well. Scott's here. Scott, you can go ahead.
Hi there. Thanks for doing this today. I have a question in regards to the search function.
Sure.
If you click on that.
Okay.
The search function or tab there.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I just have a request of if you go down a little bit lower on the screen, see where it says address. Maybe I'm unique in this as a realtor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm constantly using the address function of the search, predominantly like 99% of the time. So my question is it possible to bring that address bar to the top of the search window? Because there's, as you see there, title, bathrooms, complex name. However, I haven't been able to move it up, and I'm just wondering if that's possible. And if
I think
we could move it up just out of functionality and efficiency.
Mm-hmm. I don't think there is a way to move the address part because we have other boxes. I'm unable to see address right now.
It's true. You can't move it up above the major area, but what you can do, and I don't know if this is across each one of the boards, MLS systems, but I know in CAR, when you click search, along the top of the options, you see residential, commercial, MLS number, and then there's address. In fact, you see it here on Entrong screen. And when you click on that, it just brings you straight through to it. So I know it's that extra click, but it does bring you there so you don't have to scroll as much.
Okay, I didn't know about that. Great.
Yeah.
That was their workaround because they felt that the design, I'll be honest, I don't remember all of the whole conversation, but it was felt that this was the best way forward to keep the address bar just underneath those top used boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
We have another raised hand. Does that answer your question, Scott?
Yeah, that does. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Joel, for helping me through this. We have Lisa. She's Lisa, if you want to talk right now, you can go ahead, or let's get a word from Sherry. Sherry, you can unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Hi, thank you so much for this session. It's awesome. I have a couple of questions. I was able to open the app for Xposure on my mobile phone. I'm just curious, how do I know that you went somewhere to attach it to your phone screen. Yeah. How do I do that?
So what browser are you using?
I'm on my phone, so I'm just using the Safari.
The Safari. So in your Safari, right at the bottom, there's this arrow that points upwards.
Right. Yeah.
You click on that.
Yeah.
Please, once you click on that, scroll to the bottom of the screen and you will see an option that says add to home screen.
There it is. Perfect.
Yeah, so that's how you add it to your home screen. The first time you do this, you will have to log in again.
Okay.
But then please remember to click on Remember Me. And next time on, you will not have to log in again to Xposure. You can just get into the system. You can access search. You can access hot sheets. You can't access clients, but you can access your listings. You can access CMA and Interboard as well.
Perfect.
So if you want to do your research in real time on the fly, you have it on your device. Isn't that great?
It's awesome. I love it so much. Thank you. My second question was for the meet feature in clients, is there a time limit? Because I know that Zoom has like a 40-minute limit if you're in the session. Is there a time limit for that one?
I think when it's in the beta version, that there is a time limit. There's a similar time limit of an hour, I think.
Okay.
But it's going to improve. And right now we are just looking at, I mean, there's also a chance that your call may not be connected well. You may not be having enough bandwidth to have a clear screen. So it's in its testing phase right now. So I'd request each one of you to go in and have this tested with your colleagues and your friends and your brokerage and see if this thing really works for you and how this fits into your daily business.
Right.
If you can do that and if you can give us some feedback, that will be great.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. Last question, I promise, and then I'll be done. I have a family member who is a realtor in the Fraser Valley who is moving to Kamloops soon. And so she was just curious to know what the process is from moving from her board to Kadria.
Okay.
Yeah, and in terms of exposure access, sorry.
Yeah, if she is is she wanting to become a member of Kadria?
Yes, so she's moving to Kamloops and she's a realtor, so she will have to be a member of Kadria. So she's wondering how that works out with exposure.
She can just get in touch with with Bobby or Chris in our office, and they have all the paperwork ready, and yeah, it's pretty simple. She can just contact the board office, and it'll be done. Not a problem.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. If there's anything else I can help you with, please write.
I just added both of our email addresses in the chat. So if, as Antrang mentioned, we absolutely would love to hear feedback, especially because Meet is such a new feature. So if you come across anything that needs to be adjusted, please, or if you love it, or if you hate it, we'll take it all. We'll take all of that feedback.
And I think, Joel, we should also be taking some feedback from our attendees in terms of how they want us to run this session, right? Because we'll be doing this every month. We'll be covering tabs. If there's anything in particular that you feel that we should be touching with, or if there's anything that we are missing, you can also write to us for that.
Yeah, and suggestions for topics too, right?
Yes. We were actually thinking of having more sessions in a month. But yeah, let's see. So we are nearing towards the end of the session. We're not done with the hour yet, but don't worry about your self-directed thing. It'll be taken care of.
Don't tell anyone. We might let you off early. What is important though is that you put your name and your board in the chat. So if you could please do that before you exit.
If you're planning to leave at this point, please enter your name in the chat room. And thank you, Susan. Thank you everyone for being here. Lisa, if you had a question, you can still ask me.
Hi, Antrang. Sorry, I had to step away. I had a client matter I had to deal with, but like very informative and very insightful. So thank you for all your time in putting this training session together. Is this something that I can review later? Are you posting this video?
Yes, we will be putting this out and we'll be sharing this with Joel as well. So Joel, the videos, I think we've done 3 sessions which cover the clients tab, the search tab, and the trends tab. I think we can have all these 3 videos sent out to all our members in case they've missed it, if that helps.
Yeah, I love this. It was so much information today. So it was moving very quickly, as I know you only have a limited amount of time. So you got to put, you have so much to cover. So it'll be very helpful with the videos to go back and to work through all these things, because it's such there's so many powerful tools that we can use and incorporate in our business. And I absolutely love it. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Lisa.
And I figured out the app. When you log in through interface through your phone, and then you go into the Xposure, it then prompts you. There is a button that you click on, and then it prompts you to download the app to your phone.
Yeah. So that is for people who are still using interface.
Not me.
Yeah. Other than that, if you're using Xposure, you can directly get into Xposure. You saw it's fairly simple, right? Just kadria.exposureapp.com, use your NAF login, and you're in.
Yeah, very easy. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I'll just take a quick question from Kevin. Kevin, let me just show you how to get the prospects tab. Yes, I will just show you that. So once you're in your dashboard, now this is how you can move your dashboard. Like you can move these elements in your dashboard, and that is by clicking on add or remove widgets. So when you click on add or remove widgets, let me just mute some people. Okay, no worries. You will see that there's prospecting right at the bottom. So if I remove these guys from here, they're not going to appear. And when I click on, okay, do we have another message? Ah, there it is. Okay, so now you know where prospecting is and how to get it in. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. If you have more questions, please keep them coming in. Thank you, Kevin. If there's anything else that I can help anyone right now, kindly write.
I think we're good.
Yeah, and for people who are wanting to submit this thing as a self-directed hour, you can use your registration email. And does that work for you for Car as well, Joel? Because it works for Kadria. We just look at the registration emails as the auditing document.
I'd have to check that with Jody, but do make sure that you put in your name in the chat before you go, and that way we've got a record of your attendance as well.
Fantastic. Other than that, I think we're just about have 3 more minutes. If you want to stay here, just chat. It's good.
we could chat for 3 minutes, can't we?
Yeah, I think I'll just quickly tell whoever is still here that in the next session, we will be looking at exposure overall. So we'll be quickly going through everything. So if you know a friend, if you know a colleague who's not having a good time with exposure, who's finding it tough to move from desktop interface to interface and then to exposure, the next session is going to help you set it up. It's going to show you all the different features that we have and the functionality, one of which is going to be web. We will not be delving very deep into web tab, but I will show you how you can have your own website set up for free. Pretty neat. If you can set it up, if you already have your website, not a problem, but for people who are just starting to use the benefits that exposure has to offer, you will see how to create your own website, how to add in more information on that website, and how you can just get going very easily once you have access to exposure. So all of that will be done in the next session. And we will be sending out information and communication in that regard. What date is the next session? Let's decide that right now. I'm not sure because we haven't set a date. April. Somewhere around 7th or 14th of April should be the day that we do our next session, but communication will be going out to you. Don't worry about that. And we are just nearing the end of an hour. What do you think, Joel? Should I have gone a little slower?
I did receive one piece of, I think, very valuable feedback from one of our attendees. I hadn't thought of this myself, but what she was saying was that she was trying to follow along. So when you were going through the trends tab, she was opening a new tab and trying to work through that as well. So great feedback, because like I said, I hadn't even considered that. I would have, I just thought someone would watch along, but it does help to learn to do, right? To be actually hands-on. So perhaps for next time, it would be something we can consider. Maybe there's some more hands-on experience.
Absolutely. And I think I should be going a little slower because people will be trying this out at their end as well. Today, the session, like the trends tab is such a huge tab. I was thinking of covering everything, and in process, I've just moved really fast. So
there's with trends, for myself personally, it's a little overwhelming when you go to it at the beginning, because you're not entirely sure what it is that you're able to get from it. But the key piece is keep hitting that refresh criteria, or I can't remember the name of the actual button, but the one in the middle, because that's the one that we kept missing. And then just play in it, because there's so much stuff that's really great. And you might find that you only use one or two and you'd like to just share those on your social media, for example. You might use one or two and you just save them and you go back to them every month, and it's easy peasy. It just takes a little bit of time at the top end to navigate and to learn how to navigate the system.
Perfect. That sounds great. So we are at the end of our session. It was great to have everybody on, and it's always nice to see people asking questions. We have 17 more participants that are still on. If you've entered your name into the chat room, that's great. Other than that, we'll take your leave in the next 1 minute. And that's the time when you please enter your name before leaving. Don't leave without entering your name, please.
You don't have to go home, but you got to get out of here, right?
I'm going home.
You are? Oh, good. Well, I'm already home, so.
Okay. Thank you, Karen. Have a good day, Jody. Okay, we have our numbers going down. That's great. I'm just waiting for if there's anybody that's still in the session and they haven't entered their name.
Fair enough.
From there on. Okay, we have 9 more people. I'm guessing then these were the 9 people who weren't listening.
That's a big assumption there, Antrang.
No, but I think we have great members who join these sessions, who want to learn more. In process, I'm learning Xposure as well.
Another suggestion came in as well. When we promote these monthly sessions, just to mark them as perhaps more like beginner, intermediate, and advanced, because there's definitely some features that are a little easier to navigate than others. Like I find trends is probably one of the more advanced features of the system. So great suggestions. Keep them coming. We really appreciate the feedback.
Awesome. Now we're done with the session. We have 9 more people still here. I'm not sure if you've entered your name, but we're going to end the session right now. Joel, you were great. Thank you. I think I'll need you in all our sessions going forward. It really helps to have somebody alongside. Sure. Happy to join anytime. Okay. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who's still listening. Have a great day ahead, and I'll see you in the next session. Thank you, Joel. Thanks, Antarang. Great job. Thanks. Bye.